Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Great company out there called Transworld Business Advisors. Gerry Brisson, I've been able to visit with you before. Delighted to have you now in our studios talking about your great company. Love the work you do, Gerry. Let's start off by kind of giving your elevator speech. Give us that overview of what Transworld is all about.
Sure. Transworld Business Advisors is one of the largest business brokerage and franchise consulting companies in the U.S. We have over 300 business brokers. Right now, over 2,700 listings. We've been around for 30 years. We really are business sales experts. We consider ourselves to be the business sale experts in the Houston market.
Awesome. And you know, what's interesting to me is that so many of these transactions that are done in the business front, in the business brokering front, are done without brokers.
Right.
And I always find that fascinating because, you know, I wouldn't buy a house without a broker.
Well,
but why would you buy not only property issues involved, but revenue, cash flow issues involved? It seems odd to me that people make these transactions. The vast majority are done without brokers. And I tell people I wouldn't recommend that. Get a competent broker. Get someone in your corner that could advise you. Talk a little bit about that.
There are people out there that do try and sell their businesses on their own. They kind of go through a process and they get frustrated and they turn to us for help. But I think folks tend to underestimate how complicated it is to sell a business. First of all, it's very time-consuming, and these are folks that really need to be focused on running their business and not trying to sell a business.
So they have something of value to sell.
So they have something of value. Well, that's exactly right, Kevin. I mean, folks, what happens is folks run down their business, and they don't realize that it doesn't take just a couple weeks to sell a business. It can take months. The average a business in the U.S. sells takes about 8 to 9 months to sell. So if you're focused on selling your business instead of running your business for that period of time, it has a negative impact on your business. And then the other thing that they underestimate is the amount of activity and the amount of coordination in selling a business. You have to deal with different parties. You've got tire kickers out there that are not serious buyers. You've got unqualified buyers that are approaching you. You have to deal with lawyers. You have to deal with accountants. You have to deal with financial planners. And there's just an awful lot of activity, and they're not equipped for it.
And frankly, there are a lot of people who are still saying they do what you do, but so many of them are really real estate agents.
Right.
You know, and not to diminish real estate agents. I love real estate agents, but really they're often limited to only being able to talk about the property side, not the cash flow issues. And then another big problem is that the owner is pretty subjective. Of course, my business is worth huge amount of money because that's what it's worth to him. But you need someone who can really come in and bring that objectivity. But talk about the importance of a true advisor, someone with your experience versus just anyone brokering these kind of deals.
Right. Well, you know, what we do at Transworld is we do nothing but sell businesses. So all day, every day, I'm talking to business owners. I'm talking to business owners who are interested in selling their business. I'm talking to investors who are interested in buying businesses. We good gosh, I mean, your point on valuation is a good one because the very first thing that an owner wants to know is how much is my business worth? And most owners, they're emotionally attached to their business. They tend to overestimate the value, or they just don't have an idea. We're valuing businesses every day, all day, and so there is a process. There are industry benchmarks that we use, market data benchmarks, and Transworld has over 2,700 listings ourselves. We've sold every kind of a business. We've sold thousands of businesses over the years. So we have the ability, we have the expertise, we have the experience to help value a business and take the emotions out of it, which I think is a major part of it.
I think it's absolutely huge. Transworld Business Advisors, Gerry Brisson, our guest, the president of that. The website is tworldhouston.com. tworldhouston.com. Gerry, thanks for being with us, telling us your story.
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. It's been my pleasure.
When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, the best content here, it shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. You find great interviews there from this show, including this one here today. I'm Kevin Price. More after this.